Hi everyone, this is SALMAN again, Criminal Law 2 student under attorney Dimpna Dulay. And now I'm going to report on Title 11, which is Crimes Against Chastity, particularly under Article 333 of the Revised Penal Code. Article 333 of the Revised Penal Code provides that who are guilty of adultery. Adultery is committed by any married woman who shall have sexual intercourse with the man not her husband, and by the man who has carnal knowledge of her knowing her to be married, even if the marriage be subsequently declared void. Adultery shall be punished by prison correctional in its medium and maximum periods. If the person guilty of adultery committed this offense while being abandoned without justification by the offended spouse, the penalty next lower in degree than that provided in the next preceding paragraph shall be imposed. Elements of adultery. 1. That the woman is married. 2. That she has sexual intercourse with the man not her husband. 3. That as regards to the man with whom she has sexual intercourse, he must know her to be married. In the case of People versus Gaynukod et al., GR number L38672, dated October 27, 1933. On April 30, the husband, Ramon Palatao, abandoned and deserted his wife, Rosario Tagayon, and their child. Rosario lived with her mother. Thereafter, at the request of the mother of Rosario, the barrio lieutenant took Rosario and her child to Ramon's house, but she was refused admission by the said Ramon. Subsequently, on July 3, 1930, Ramon induced his wife to sign the document, which appears in the record as Exhibit 1 as follows. First, they will live separately. Second, they mutually agree to give privilege to love or marry other people. Third, they are bound to support their child jointly. Ramon then admitted on cross-examination that for more than a year before he filed the complaint in this case, he knew that his wife Rosario and her co-accused Alfonso were living together in the same house. During all that time, he took no action whatever to vindicate the honor or his name, because he felt bound by the alleged agreement to give his consent to Rosario's conduct or because he expected her to reciprocate. He was assuming a mere pose when he signed the complaint as offended spouse, and his conduct, as shown by the evidence in this case, warrants the inference that he consented to and acquiesced in the adulterous relations existing between the accused, and he is therefore not authorized by law to institute this criminal proceeding. So the issue of the case is whether or not the husband can file a case of adultery. Ruling of the court. The Supreme Court held that no, filing a case of adultery herein is untenable. While the agreement above referred to Exhibit 1 is void in law, it is nevertheless competent evidence to explain the husband's inaction after he knew of his wife's living with the co-accused and to show that he acquiesced in her conduct. The expression, if he shall have consented, in the Article 344 of the Revised Penal Code, which bars the offended husband from instituting a prosecution, has no reference to any consent or agreement prior to the commission of the offense, but relates to an express or implied acquiescence subsequent to the offense. This consent or acquiescence need not be expressed, but may be inferred from the conduct or the long-continued inaction of the husband after learning of the offense. In this case, the very thing happened which he might have foreseen and probably did foresee when he abandoned his wife and deceived her into believing that she was free when she signed the said agreement a year and a half before the offense was committed. His consent to the offense before it was committed was void, but his tolerance of and acquiescence in the offense after it was committed demonstrate that it is a hypocritical pretense for him now to appear in court as the offended party and bar his right to prosecute his wife. Apart from that, the fact that he abandoned and deserted his wife and child, in spite of all her efforts to maintain their home intact, shows a callous indifference to every moral duty imposed upon him as her husband and the father of their child. Therefore, the case is dismissed.